You know that creating raving fans is essential to having your business weather the storm of tough economic climates. And I just had the honor and the privilege of visiting one of my past clients' open house. And today I'm going to share the 3 key distinctions that have helped Azure Standard, an organics food company, grow by over 400% in just 5 years. My name is Ted Miller III, and I'm the CEO here at TM3, and I've had the pleasure of working with 25,000 entrepreneurs from 25 different countries. And I can tell you that many good companies had failed to create raving fans. I mean, that's a very rarefied air held by only great companies. No, actually, absolutely outstanding companies. When I met David Stelter of Azure Standard, he seemed to have stumbled into fast growth, grown from $36 million a year to $65 million a year, and frankly, he was worried about dropping back to their previous annual revenue amounts. But today, I'll share how I can now see only in hindsight why he had secured continued fast growth for 5 years, even through that pandemic recession. The first distinction to creating raving fans and tapping into fast growth is what I call make a conscious commandment. I'm talking about conscious commandment. It's not a weak ass tagline for a company. Rather, it's a powerful commitment that drives all your major decisions. And it's not a flippant mission statement created by some marketing team. Rather, this is a virtuous person who's living through their company to live out the purpose they've been put on this planet. I know it sounds a little cheesy, right? But David firmly believes that he can change the world for the better because he's a 3rd-generation farmer. He knows the food production model is failing, and yet he knows Azure Standard can be a company that can stand for abundant health, living this abundant health for their clients, for their vendors, their staff, let alone their own family. When you make a conscious commandment to have people radiate from their whole being, boy, you're not going to be simply persuaded from a $1,200 a month marketing stamp that says organic on the side of a bag. That's a pretty low standard for David and his team to determine if they're going to distribute that product. No, you see, the Stelter family, they're OGs in organic farming. They've haven't used chemicals in their fields or farms or their cattle since the time I was born. I mean, they go back a ways. They got their organic certification back in 1982 specifically, and they want to see how their farmers are treating their livestock, the forest, the landscape, their farms, their gardens. And as Organic's largest organic farmer, David knows what that looks like. And I learned firsthand when my wife and we first went out to their farm. In 15 minutes, we learned more about soil and what it really means to be organic, to produce the best foods, than I had in 15 years of studying home gardening. Just yesterday, when I was at their open house, I had a vendor express a concern that a product had made their way into their distribution list, and he found out they were not using a kosher fish oil. And I asked if he informed them of this, and he said, yeah, I did about 2 weeks ago, but he seemed really upset. So I offered to help, and I said, hey, why don't you just pull up the product on AzureStandard.com right now? And sure enough, when he pulled it up, it had already been discontinued. So they were fast in taking action. There's no further action that was needed in that moment because they have held such a strong standard. That creates confidence in their vendors, in their clients, and their staff members. You see, their clients, his vendors, they all know they're going to hold the highest of standards to ensure they keep their conscious commandment. What commandment have you made to make the world a better place that inspires all people that you come in contact with to want to champion your cause? Now, warning, make sure this doesn't come off as too cliche or falling too short of being inspirational to ensure you can create raving fans yourself. The second distinction to create raving fans and tap it into fast growth is the spirit of service. And at Azure, they believe by the laws of nature, we're rewarded in direct proportion to the service that we provide others. Shipping perishable and non-GMO foods across the nation is no small feat, and the cost associated with that typical model, it's skyrocketed. And I'm sure you've noticed that at the checkout aisles at the grocery store. So Azure's core values, one of them is do more with less. And they came up with this very unique way to distribute foods. They don't just wholesale to a local grocery store or drop ship to homes, forcing their loyal customers to have to then pay the marked up price to make that happen. Rather, their own clients volunteer to host a drop-off and a pickup point for products that they order online. To keep their prices as low as possible, 3,000 of their clients donate their time and their locations in order to help Azure live out their conscious commandment to provide organic and non-GMO foods to their local community. Let me slow down for a second. I don't think you're getting this. You freak out when Amazon's package doesn't arrive in 24 hours. However, Azure has such loyal raving fans, they open up their place of business, their home, or their church to help facilitate handing out parcels of food from the back of like a refrigerated semi-truck. But get this, they don't hate doing this, they love doing this. They're not freaking reading labels in the aisle wondering if it's got GMO foods or is if it's really organic. Rather, they're meeting like-minded people in their community. They're in the same passion that they have to stay healthier, raise a healthy family. Their spirit of service by making those products available to people, by caring about those that they serve, by listening and trying to do even better each and every single day, has created a raving fan base. The third distinction to creating raving fans and tapping into fast growth is what I coined as the heart of business. Now, they have not forgotten the good businesses done between two people in a very caring way, but great business, that's done from a place of love. That's right, they serve from their heart and they lead with love. Not just the owners, not just their leadership, but even the newest person on the warehouse floor knows the impact that their customers' overall experience is going to be had. They take that to heart, you see. Sure, there are plenty of Wolf of Wall Street types running around on the internet talking about how much money they've made lately, but I'll tell you what, they don't have raving fans like Azure does. Most in the world are just not well adjusted enough to be a leader, meaning in a relationship, someone has to go first, and the leaders go first. That means a leader that has the courage to love first, that's something powerful. That's what I call the heart of business. And Azure's created a multi-way relationship that with honesty, justice, truth, and create something special, rewarding for everyone that's involved. To create raving fans and tap into fast growth, you're going to want to leverage these three elements. Again, number one is make a conscious commandment. Number two, operate from the spirit of service. And number three, don't forget the heart of business and love, baby. Don't forget to subscribe for more fast growth strategies. Like this video if you like it, and I'll see you in the next one as I continue the series on the heart of business.